What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be playing out the VK 72.01K. This tank and the Mouse are, in my opinion, the two best German heavy tanks right now, so that's why I'm playing them back to back. I might play the VK 90 next because it's also up there. I think those are the top three for German heavy tanks at least, but I enjoy the VK 90 less than I enjoy the Mouse and the VK 72. So if I still feel like playing super heavies, which already aren't my play style, then I'll go ahead and drive that one out. But if not, I'll be playing something else. Anyway, the VK 72 is an interesting tank because it's rear turreted, but you don't want to be side scraping in it because the pieces of armor underneath the turret and next to the gun mantlet, I guess, the cheeks of the turret, are weak. They're around 250 millimeters. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do anything about the turret weak spots because every time you're looking at the enemy, if they hit right next to your mantlet on your cheek, they're going to penetrate. But the side weak spots, if you side scrape, kind of like how I am in this clip, and that wreck of that 183 wasn't there, if that E75 turned, he'd be able to easily penetrate my side. And to compound that, it's like right where the ammo rack is too. So if you keep getting shot there, you're going to get your ammo rack damage and potentially lose all your hit points. So some of you might be thinking, if you don't have experience with this tank or playing against it, how am I supposed to peek then if I'm not supposed to side scrape and it's rear turreted? Well, I'll throw up a picture on the screen of the armor values, kind of like how I did in my last video, and I'm going to put a line down the center of that picture, and on the right side of that line, I want you to imagine is covered by a house. So the right side of the line shown is a building, and the left side is your tank peeking out around the building, and that's how you effectively peek in this. And obviously, if you drive around the corner against something with high penetration, most heavy tanks with good heat pen, they're just going to butter right through that. So you obviously want to avoid just dry peeking a corner like that, but that's the best way to do it while not giving the enemy a massive weak spot. Now, that being said, this tank's armor profile does require skill specific to this tank to play. It's not like you can just pick this up after playing a VK90, another rear turreted German super heavy, and just be good at it. You actually have to understand that every time you peek, you are showing both of your turret weak spots, or at least one of them, and there's also going to be a weak spot somewhere else on your tank no matter what you do. So you have to pay attention to where the enemy's aiming and be able to bait these weak spots. And I have the second replay today, I have a really good demonstration of that. I'm not super good in this tank or anything, it just works out for me, but you'll see what I mean. This tank requires you to pay a lot of attention to where the enemy is pointing their gun, when they're reloaded, and what they're about to shoot, and that's how you are successful with blocking shots in this. Players that are good in this tank are absolutely scary because you think you can penetrate, but it's one of those things where it's just on the edge of not being able to. You shoot and then you bounce and then you get hit for 500 damage. Now it has tungsten shells as well. You can see I just did over 700 to that Type 71. And in a face hug, this thing can dominate most enemies as long as you know how to barrel block, which here's another demonstration of that. He's not really trying very hard, he's just shooting my mantlet, but you just stuff your gun barrel in theirs and your mantlet will take care of it. So that's pretty much how you deal with tanks in a close range engagement. So in regards to the actual game that's being played here, I've gone heavy tank side because we have 4 heavy tanks. Our medium tank didn't leave in time. Once we crossed like the middle of the heavy tank lane and you're in a medium tank and you don't see us spotting anything from over here, you just want to leave. You're not going to get out in time. Obviously they died for that, but then the mistake that the enemy team makes is that they split. Half of them go towards our spawn and half of them come back to support their spawn because they think I'm going to push through most likely. I don't want to make the same mistake that their team is making because we also have a numbers disadvantage, so I'm trying to stay between the remaining players in our team. E75 just kind of YOLOs into 2 tier 10s, so he's a lost cause. So now I'm going to go back to the rest of my team so that we can stick together and not split down the middle. That will make it so that they can't just kill off one side while the other side holds and then put us in a crossfire. The reason I took advantage of that Type 71's positioning was because I knew that the enemy was going to win the other side. There was nothing that I could do about that, and I knew that they were going to come drive towards my team. So rather than waste time waiting for them or driving to them, I was going to kill the one guy that would have put us in a crossfire faster than everybody else because he already had positioning if they came back. So now my main focus is keeping my team alive, because as soon as my team dies, I become the center of attention. And it doesn't matter if I'm full HP. If I'm alone against 4 or even 3 tanks, it's not going to go well. I'm going to die very quickly. Taking the hit from the 183 was not a wise decision. I wanted to get the hit into him, and it was very important that I actually damaged him, but not angling properly and just kind of not caring whether or not he hit me was not a good choice in that situation. You need to be willing to use your HP when you have it, but not overuse it and give it away for free like I just did. Now, this is a really bad situation, and I'm doing math in my head to see who I need to bounce the shot from, and I figured out right away that I can let the T-57 shoot me twice, and I cannot let the KPZ kill me, and then I need to kill the T-57 before he fires the 3rd shot. So if the KPZ had just held his shot until the T-57 clipped me out right there, I would have died. Because I had to keep angling to the KPZ, because as soon as I turn my turret to shoot the T-57, the KPZ kills me. But he fired. I didn't realize he had such good heat pen, so I broke the distance. I should have just kept face hugging him because I would have actually survived. But what's a YouTube video from me without me dying in a high damage game that would have been really cool for me to survive in? Well, I hope you enjoyed the first game. That one shows about the maximum amount of positioning you're going to see me do in a super heavy, because the way I understand they play is you stay towards the center of the map to support the center, and you don't try to get flanks, because as soon as you're isolated and alone, your hit points are useless. Starting out the second game here, I like on mines to go to the position right in front of me by that rock at the very beginning, because if there's heavy tanks that are slow leaving spawn, like the enemy VK, I can get a shot into their side as they try to go to the mid-hill. In addition to that, my other reasoning is that if you go to mid-hill, everyone expects you to be there, and unless you're in like a concept or a chieftain or something really good hold down, you're not going to do very well. You can do well, but it's not going to be like the best situation possible until the mid to late game. So there's no point in going there right away. Now, I can tell just from the way these guys are driving that they're going to rush me, and I'm not going to get out of the way before he clips out. So I bait my weak spots. I do what I was talking about in the mouse video on this same map, where I drive and I reverse up a slope a little bit, which over angles my lower plate, which is the main weak spot on this tank. Here, I wasn't expecting him to flick and shoot that quickly, so I didn't get to react. That's just inexperience in this tank for me. You'll notice I'm completely unsupported in this position too, so I just have to leave. I'm going to use each little ridge in the hill as a position to potentially get a shot back into the enemy though. And as these medium tanks pop up, I'm going to prioritize them as I always do. More importantly in a super heavy, because I can deal with heavy tanks and angle against their poor gun handling all day long. But as soon as it comes to a tank that can flank me super quickly and easily hit my weak spots with its quick aim time and good accuracy, I don't stand a chance, so I want to get those tanks out as quickly as possible. Here again, that's me using the slope, backing up it. I was pretty confident I was going to bounce that just from the vertical angle I was at, and you can't see the shaders through the tree anyway, so I was pretty confident that was going to bounce. Here, I've run out of hill to hide my lower plate, so I was expecting both of those to pen. They were heat. He managed to actually hit my track with the second shot, so I was able to bounce that. But like I was saying at the beginning of the video, as soon as a heavy tank loads heat, your whole lower plate is penetrable. Most heavy tanks can pen, there's a little flat bar at the front. They can pen that with AP, but it's so small that unless you're in like a medium, I don't even know if mediums can pen that. Most situations, you're just going to want to load heat and guarantee the penetration, unless you really think that you can hit that and it's worth it for you. But I'd say 90% of scenarios, just load heat and shoot this thing's lower plate. No, you'll see here, we're obviously, this game is won, but I actually want to survive this one, so I'm going to be a little bit cautious, because I'm low enough to where if I do something stupid and get hit by the grill and then the Yag Tiger or something, I'm just going to die. So I wait for the Yag Tiger to die so that that doesn't happen. Then I'm going to drive forwards. And I don't want the CS-63 to spot me. This isn't because I didn't want to waste my shot. I wanted to be able to kill the STB-1. So I didn't get spotted by the CS, then drove forward, shot the STB in the side. There's nothing left in this game. I just drive up here, somebody else kills the grill, and that's it. So the whole point of showing this replay was that initial rush on me, the angling and the baiting. If you can master that, this tank becomes incredibly good. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want me to play a specific tank, as always, just comment it below, and have a good day.